Hey, what's up, guys? I'm currently just going through my phone like usual. We're all gonna. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, I still have it. Sorry, that blended in. I mean, so what I'm currently doing, I'm probably just gonna see a couple of videos on this on my YouTube channel. Last video I posted was how to make a two-face coin, so let's go watch that. Yay!
Hey guys, I'm currently gonna.
I always gotta do that.
Hey guys, I'm currently gonna make a two-face coin from Batman and a Batarang.
I lied about the Batarang. I have nothing to make it with.
Heads or tails? Leave in the comments. I'm gonna give a couple.
Heads!
The answer is heads.
Yes!
I made this video especially for you.
He's talking about my sister.
You did the razor blade thing once.
Yeah. We don't need to go through that.
Ones.
Now she's using huge ones. First she kept them in her phone, now she's keeping them in her
No joke.
giant, huge
Look. See
teddy
this
bear.
wall? Nothing's right there.
That's how I used to make the two-face coin. I still got the coin in my hand. I like it.
We're gonna have a talk tomorrow.
I haven't told on her yet because he's not here. I'm sleeping in her room.
Batman is one of my favorite heroes in the DC universe.
Yes, he is.
Move all the existing steps.
Ignore the little image behind me.
Do not try this at home. I'm doing this just because I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, don't try that at home. Definitely don't try it on your skin. Wear safety goggles. And a safety boot. Ignore that image behind with the boob and stuff. Someone else do that, not me.
Bing, bing. So. See what this...
It's shaped like a Batarang.
Hooked it, made in...
It's hooked it somewhere in England.
Somewhere in England.
Thank you, Shay.
Yay.
It's been so long since I posted a video. Like a year or two.
Did nothing. I will see you in a second. I'm going to go try to see what I can do. Hey guys, I am back.
Okay, how I did that little editing trick, let me show you. There is a little pause when you're making a YouTube video on your phone. There's a pause button, and Lucius the spider, that's adorable. So you can pause it when it won't film, it won't do nothing. Then when you click it, it'll still be saved. Two-Face flips his coin. So, I can show that video later, but I want to say some of this. How to make a additional Two-Face coin. I always have to do
Hello
that.
YouTube, Sean here. Thanks for joining me for another
Hey!
Smith video.
No one
Today,
makes fun of my
I'm going
name.
to be showing you
It's
how
there's
to
an
turn
E at the end. E!
this into this. That's right, it's the Dark Knight Two-Face coin, as used by Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, in the film The
We're
Dark
not
Knight.
retarded.
In the description.
Do you get it? We are not
Now,
retarded.
when
We
I
know
originally
who
set out to
Two-Face
make
is
this
and Harvey
replica,
Dent.
I was going to take this real 1922 piece dollar and cast it and mold it into a two-headed thing and mess one side up to make it a two-face coin. But that turned out to be really sort of difficult, and I never got proper results, and it also ended up being a lot more expensive than just buying
Yeah, I'm already
this
bored.
fantastically nice
Too Faced teeth. Ooh.
this video.
No. It's not what I wanted to go to. No. Oh, come on. Okay, I always gotta play, but I also gotta do this.
To nothing more. This video was made possible by our wonderful NerdSync patrons who support the show over at patreon.com/nerdsync. Two-Face is one of Batman's oldest and most notorious foes, obsessed with fairness and luck. He even wields a weapon used in an infamous game of chance. However, he only uses his deadly revolver if his trusty coin allows for it.
The wrath of Toss. The only true justice.
A typical use of Two-Face's coin would be heads, you live, tails, or scratchy burnt side, you die. Seems fair, right? Cruel, sure, but fair.
No, I wouldn't make a deal with him.
Two-Face's victims are subject to nothing more than chance, which Harvey explains is
Unbiased. Unprejudiced.
Love that movie.
Fair.
But is this true? How fair is a coin toss exactly? What about coin spinning? What about giant coin flipping machines like he used in the animated series? Is Two-Face a man obsessed with chance, using a system that's inherently rigged? Harvey Dent. Can we trust him?
Yeah, actually no.
Sorry. Gotham's Bright Knight was the youngest man to become district attorney at 26, being admired for his integrity and dedication to justice.
I like how he
We
has
first meet
the-
him in Detective Comics issue number 66,
that,
published in August of
button that
1942.
says,
While prosecuting
"I believe
notorious
in
crime
them" or
boss Sal
something.
Maroni, Dent reveals damning evidence against Maroni, a two-headed coin belonging to the crime boss, which was found at a crime scene. Realizing that he is all but doomed, Maroni leaps up and attempts to drench Dent in sulfuric acid right there in the courtroom. Fortunately, Batman was also attending the trial and managed to save Dent. Half of Dent. Turns out, half is not quite enough, though, as Harvey eventually descends into madness, becoming Two-Face, obsessed with duality, free will, and the number 2. He takes Maroni's coin, scratches up one side, and makes himself a deal. He'll flip the coin, and if it lands heads up, or clean side up, he'll get surgery to fix his scarred face. If the coin lands with the scratch side up, he'll dedicate his life to crime. And, well, crime wins. Of course, Two-Face's scars are similar to Joker's scars in The Dark Knight, in that the story behind how Harvey got them has changed frequently. The New 52, for example, showed a different mob boss named Aaron McKillen as the one responsible for scarring Harvey. A different continuity shows a similar origin to The Dark Knight, where Dent has his face disfigured by an explosion, after having extensive plastic surgery to fix the initial acid damage and live happily ever.
So, I guess he's trying to tell about different how he made. But what's really cool is that, what is it? Dang it, come on. He's trying to technically tell us that he cheats if he doesn't get his way, but in The Dark Knight, I think it was an explosion. I don't.
Ever after as a whole man again, boom! Talk about bad luck. Though the fact that he was scarred twice is kind of fitting. There's also been significant changes to the origin of Two-Face's iconic
I
coin.
believe
One
in
version has it
Harvey
present
Dent.
in Dent's
That's
childhood, used as a tool in his father's nightly abuses. The head's lack of choice would not only lead Harvey to develop schizophrenia, but also cripple his ability to make independent decisions altogether. Wherever it came from, though, Two-Face's coin is crucial to who he is as a character. He allows his actions to be dictated by a simple and seemingly random coin toss. As is stated in his first appearance, Two-Face is supposed to be the most unpredictable crime master of all time. But is a coin toss truly unpredictable? Theoretically, we could take into account all of the factors that go into a toss of a coin and determine how it's going to land before it does land back in Two-Face's hand. So, unpredictable, no. But how about fair? That's the key. Dent flips a coin to decide his actions, believing that the odds of a coin toss are exactly 50-50. Remember, he specifically says that a coin toss is unbiased. However, in a paper titled Dynamical Bias in the Coin Toss, researchers Percy Diaconis, Susan Holmes, and Richard Montgomery discovered that vigorously tossed coins are slightly biased. In fact, if you were to flip a coin, it has a higher probability of landing on the side that was initially facing up. If the coin starts facing heads up, it has a better chance of landing heads up, and vice versa. How big is this bias? A whopping 1%. Yeah, that's right. A coin toss is not 50-50, but actually 51-49 favoring the starting position. So, practically, there's no difference. But over the course of Two-Face's criminal career, possibly thousands of coin flips over years of villainous schemes means there are definitely decisions he made that weren't exactly fair, but instead took advantage of this statistical bias. And for a man obsessed with fairness, this would drive him crazy. Crazier! Of course, there's a much bigger issue with the strategy of flipping a coin until he gets the result he wants, so, you know, probably isn't super concerned with a 1% bias. But we're just getting started. What about spinning a coin? Is that a better or worse system for keeping the odds even? Well, as it turns out, coin spinning is far more rigged. One experiment had a class of 103 Berkeley undergraduates tasked with tossing a penny 100 times and then spinning that same penny 100 times while recording the outcome of each toss and spin. As predicted, tossing the coin yielded results you would probably expect, with the penny landing on heads around 50% of the time. But spinning the coin resulted in surprising results that showed an obvious bias. The penny was more likely to land tails up. Some students even had coins that came up heads fewer than 10% of the time. That is incredible. A spinning coin heavily favors landing with the lighter side facing up, due to the heavier side typically forcing the coin to fall over. With Two-Face, his coin shouldn't have a heavier or lighter side since it has two heads, but after it was scratched up, that damaged side became lighter than the undamaged side. So when it's spun, like in the bar scene from The Dark Knight, the coin has a much higher probability of landing scratched side up. This guy, Wirtz? Yeah. The odds were stacked against him the moment Dent placed the coin on the table. Again, not exactly the fairness Two-Face was after. And Two-Face's rigged system only gets worse. Remember in the animated series when he strapped Batman to a giant penny and sent him flying through the air? The idea was that Batman would either... Well, I'll just let Two-Face explain.
Here's the deal. The coin lands face down. You'll be squashed flat. It lands face up. It'll just break every bone in your body.
But, here's the thing. That same paper, Dynamical Bias in the coin toss, actually built a coin flipping device much like Two-Face's, only, you know, not as giant, and they found that the way the coin lands is anything but random, explaining that if you hit a coin with the same force in the same place, it always does the same thing. Quote, with careful adjustment, the coin starting heads up always lands heads up. 100% of the time. I'm gonna say that again. 100%. I mean, when the coin tosses were 51% to 49%, that's one thing. But this enormous penny flip was rigged. Plan always going on about. He even says specifically about his plan.
I thought as long as I had Batman at my mercy, he deserved a 50-50 chance.
But that's not what he got now, was it?
I make my own luck.
Although, despite Two-Face betraying his drive for fairness, this plot did leave Batman with a large penny to deck out the Batcave with, so, you know, not for nothing. So now that we've examined what Two-Face has been doing wrong in his quest for fairness, I feel like we should point out all the things that he's actually doing right. You know, insult the man's methods before complimenting him. I guess you could say I'm a bit, I don't know, what's the word for when you're kind of insincere and you say different things to different people in order to get their approval, even if it's sort of contradictory or hypocritical? It'll come to me. Moving on. Firstly, Two-Face almost always catches his tossed coin in his hand, and this seems insignificant, but it greatly helps the coin toss to be more fair. Why? Well, think about what happens to a coin when it hits the ground. It has the potential to bounce and spin, and as we've discussed earlier, once that coin starts spinning, the bias for which side it lands on is greatly increased, ending in a result that wasn't exactly 50-50. Catching the coin in his hand